it's also interesting what's going on with trade, what's going on with tariffs being used by President Trump as leverage to try to get, in his opinion, what's a more fair trade arrangement. But currency manipulation can certainly void any policy. I call it policy sterilization. I'm referring specifically to China. Your thoughts?
Well, you're absolutely right. And I really applaud the president for focusing on genuinely free trade. He's really taking the moral high road by saying, for example, his real preference would be no tariffs, no non-tariff barriers, and no subsidies. So he's laying down the gauntlet, and now we find that all the people across the oceans who are talking about free trade aren't really prepared to talk about authentic free trade. Because to me, the next big area we have to concentrate on is currency manipulation. And again, it was President Trump who has made this an issue. And we see that any country could neutralize the impact of a trade agreement where you have tariffs very carefully finessed to reflect the different competitive opportunities for the parties to the agreement. And then one country, if they're allowed to depreciate their currency, can completely make up for any damage from the tariff in terms of their export advantage.
Yes, and it's so complicated because it's so easy to say, you know, let's have another plaza type accord, or let's agree on something. But in the end, even central banking, which is supposedly the asterisk for kind of playing with your currency through movement of interest rates, it's going to be very hard in the final analysis to prevent a manipulation of one's currency, period. I just don't see an easy path. Your thought?
Well, there's not an easy path, but I think the beginning of getting on the right path is to focus on the importance of stable currencies to provide the right foundation for true free trade and for productive economic growth. I think we're seeing that from this administration. I think we're seeing that from this Treasury, the importance of stable currencies and not have this constant fluctuation, and to pay attention to manipulation and get any trade partner to agree that stabilizing the exchange rate among trading partners is key to preserving the appropriate terms of trade that really define free trade.
And finally, when it comes to tariffs being used by the president, there's so much debate as to whether this is a good way to proceed or not. Do you have any thoughts on the notion that going through the bureaucracy of World Trade Organization versus trying to use tariffs, is it just a matter of expediency and efficiency? Am I missing something?
Well, I think it is proving to be expedient that the president has focused on tariffs, because that has certainly got the attention of our trade partners. And sometimes the ongoing complicated approach through WTO is not quite as expedient.